The Grammy Song of the Year and Billboard's year-end Hot 100 #1 song are often worlds apart. The Grammys tend to reward songwriting craft, while Billboard simply tracks the numbers on what dominated airwaves, streams, and sales. In this video, we'll look at the Grammy-winning versus biggest song of each year from 2010 to 2024. 2010. 2010's music scene was defined by two very different anthems. Kesha's TikTok was a cultural earthquake, topping the Billboard Hot 100 for 9 weeks, and ultimately becoming the biggest song of the year. This carefree party vibes and electropop beat captured the post-recession YOLO energy of the new decade. It was fun, trashy, and unforgettable, cementing Kesha as a major pop player. The Grammys, however, went to Lady Antebellum's country pop ballad Need You Now, awarding it Song of the Year. The song was a crossover hit, which was built on needing somebody when you're down. While not nearly as omnipresent in clubs and radio stations like TikTok, it showcased good songwriting in a way the Recording Academy values. In hindsight, both tracks defined 2010 in different ways. Kesha's hit was a mainstream pop juggernaut, and Lady Antebellum's song was a slow-burning classic, which was also the second biggest song of 2010 behind TikTok. 2011. In 2011, there was a rare alignment between commercial and critical acclaim, with Adele's Rolling in the Deep. The song was not just the biggest song of the year on Billboard, but it also took home the Grammy for Song of the Year. It represented the perfect storm, where the Grammy favorite was also very popular. The soulful ballad resonated across demographics, peaking at #1 in over 20 countries and dominating US radio. With its mix of great writing and powerhouse vocals, Adele got her breakthrough. Because of the timeless classic, she dominated the Grammys, taking home 3 of the big 4 categories. This year was the only one where the most popular song of the year in the US was also awarded the Song of the Year at the Grammys. 2012. 2012's Billboard year-end #1 Somebody That I Used to Know was a left-field indie pop smash. Its minimalist production and creative music video helped it reach 2.5 billion YouTube views and dominate charts worldwide. It became one of the most successful one-hit wonders of all time, and it defined the global soundscape of 2012. The Grammys, however, crowned We Are Young by Fun as Song of the Year. The song was anthemic and cinematic, aligning with the Academy's taste for grandiose songwriting, while We Are Young had strong chart success too, peaking at #1 and selling over 10 million copies and ending the year as the 3rd biggest song in the US. It lacked the same worldwide staying power as Gaultier's timeless classic. Even though it lost out on Song of the Year, Somebody That I Used to Know took home the Grammy for Record of the Year. Looking back, the choice of We Are Young feels more like a reflection of 2012, while Somebody That I Used to Know has aged well. 2013. 2013's Billboard chart topper Thrift Shop was a quirky, fun hip-hop anthem about bargain shopping that came out of nowhere and dominated the charts. With its horn-heavy beats and comedic lyrics, it stayed at #1 for 6 weeks and eventually went diamond in the US. It was also the first rap song in years to dominate the Hot 100. It was not the usual flexing song, more like the opposite. The Grammys opted for Royals by Lorde, which was also an anti-flexing song against consumerism and excess. At just 16 years old, she took everyone off guard with her mature songwriting. Royals not only became a worldwide smash hit, but also ushered in a new era of stripped-down introspective pop that influenced artists for years to come. In this case, the Grammys arguably got it right. While Thrift Shop was undeniably huge, it got old really quick. Royals, on the other hand, has endured as a generational anthem. 2014. Pharrell's Happy was inescapable in 2014. Initially featured on the Despicable Me 2 soundtrack, it stayed at #1 for 10 weeks and sold over 10 million copies, becoming the year's biggest Billboard hit. Its cheerful, uplifting vibe appealed to all generations, turning it into a cultural phenomenon. The Grammys, however, went with Sam Smith's emotional ballad Stay With Me as Song of the Year. The song was a gospel ballad that showcased Sam's powerhouse vocals. While it didn't dominate the charts in the same way Happy did, it was pretty successful and was a typical song that the Grammys always go for. In hindsight, both songs have cemented their legacies in different ways. Happy remains one of the most recognizable songs from the 2010s, while Stay With Me solidifies Sam Smith's status as a superstar. 2015. Mark Ronson and Bruno Mars's Uptown Funk was undeniably the soundtrack of 2015. The funk pop anthem ruled the Billboard Hot 100 for 14 weeks, earned over 2.4 billion Spotify streams, and sat at the top of the year-end chart as the biggest song of the year in the US. Its energy and throwback vibes also made it the biggest song of the 2010s altogether. In contrast, the Grammys awarded Song of the Year to Ed Sheeran's ballad Thinking Out Loud. The sweet love song resonated, becoming the ultimate wedding song. While it didn't dominate in the same way commercially in the US, the song's themes of unconditional love struck a chord with Grammy voters, who tend to value sincerity over hype. Uptown Funk took home Record of the Year that same night. This was a year where both tracks had lasting impact, but in different lanes. Uptown Funk defined popular music, while Thinking Out Loud represented timeless songwriting, a perfect case of Billboard versus Grammy priorities. 2016. Justin Bieber's Love Yourself closed out his comeback with a bang, topping the Billboard year-end chart as the biggest song of 2016, followed by his other hit Sorry. Written by Ed Sheeran, the song's acoustic sound and honest lyrics gave Bieber a different sound to his other hits around that time. It spent 2 weeks on #1 and dominated radio throughout the year. But the Grammys looked to Adele's powerhouse ballad Hello. Not only was it her first release in years, it also became a cultural event, topping the Hot 100 for 10 weeks and winning Song of the Year for its heart-wrenching delivery and impeccable vocal performance. The song's uplifting production and emotional depth fit the Grammy mold perfectly. Went on to sweep the Grammys that year too, also taking home Album of the Year for 25. Both songs were massive, but Justin Bieber was never a Grammy darling, but Adele has always been. 2017. Ed Sheeran's Shape of You was a global juggernaut, spending 12 weeks on #1 and becoming Spotify's most streamed song ever for some time. It was the undeniable biggest hit of 2017, dominating the Hot 100 for 3 months straight. Its tropical house-inspired beat and instantly memorable hook made it a worldwide smash and cemented Ed as one of the most dominant forces in pop. But when it came to the Grammys, Bruno Mars's That's What I Like took home Song of the Year. While not as universally huge as Sheeran's track, it was still a major hit, topping the Hot 100 and showcasing Bruno's ability to blend R&B, funk, and pop into a timeless banger. The song was more Grammy-friendly than Ed's club anthem. This year highlighted the contrast between global commercial dominance and retro perfection. 2018. Drake's God's Plan was a song everybody knew in 2018. Spent 11 weeks on #1, dominated radio, and became a cultural moment, with this music video showing Drake giving away nearly $1 million. The song was kinda low-key, but it became the biggest song of the year commercially. The Grammys, however, went in a different direction with Childish Gambino's This Is America. The politically charged song shocked the world with its unforgettable music video, which led to a lot of think pieces and breakdowns. It mainly highlighted America's issues with gun violence and race. It became the first rap song ever to win Song of the Year, showing the Grammys' recognition for its cultural importance over traditional radio success. In this case, God's Plan was a feel-good anthem that resonated everywhere, but This Is America was a real moment. 2019. Lil Nas X's Old Town Road was nothing short of a phenomenon. The country trap hybrid shattered records, spending 19 weeks on #1, the longest in Billboard Hot 100 history, and closing the year as the biggest song of 2019. It became the first song that proved TikTok's power in blowing up a song, and the controversy, because it was removed from the country charts, initially brought attention to it. But the Grammys awarded Song of the Year to Billie Eilish's Bad Guy. While not as dominant as Old Town Road in terms of chart longevity, Bad Guy still topped the Hot 100 for a week after spending a record amount of weeks on #2 behind Lil Nas X. It represented a shift in pop music. Billie dominated the Grammys, sweeping all major categories, becoming the youngest artist to do so. This year was interesting as it showed the power of the internet. 2020. The biggest song of 2020 was undoubtedly Blinding Lights by The Weeknd. With its retro synthwave production and undeniable hook, the song dominated the Billboard Hot 100, spending 90 weeks on the chart. A record-breaking run that redefined chart dominance. It was everywhere, becoming the most streamed song of all time and one of the defining songs of the decade. But despite its critical acclaim and cultural impact, Blinding Lights was completely shut out of the major Grammy categories, sparking a heated controversy with The Weeknd and the Recording Academy. By contrast, The Grammy Song of the Year went to I Can't Breathe by Her, a politically charged anthem released during the height of the Black Lives Matter protest in 2020. The song didn't do much commercially, not even charting on the Hot 100. It was a good protest song, but far from the global pop phenomenon that is Blinding Lights. This contrast between the two songs highlighted the Grammys' ongoing tension between commercial relevance and artistic recognition. While the Billboard charts are all about numbers, the Grammys choose what to award each year. 2021. On Billboard's side, Dua Lipa's Levitating reigned as the biggest song of 2021. Although it only peaked at number 2 on the Hot 100, it proved to have the year's strongest longevity, riding the wave of TikTok virality and heavy radio play. With its disco-inspired groove and undeniable replay value, Levitating became the year-end chart topper of the year, even though it never got to peak at number 1 on the Hot 100. The Grammy Song of the Year, however, went to Leave the Door Open by Silk Sonic, the soulful collaboration between Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak. With lush instrumentation and old-school R&B harmonies, it felt like a throwback to the 70s, but it resonated with modern audiences. Grammy voters embraced the throwback sound, also giving it Record of the Year. This matchup underscored a key difference. Billboard reflects public consumption and popularity, while the Grammys often reward artistry. Levitating might have been the song that everyone was listening to, but Leave the Door Open fit the Grammys' preference. 2022. The Billboard's year-end chart crowned Glass Animals' Heat Waves as 2022's biggest song, thanks to its slow burn success. Originally released in 2020, the song took nearly 2 years to climb to number 1 on the Hot 100, fueled by TikTok. With its dreamy production, it became an anthem that year. Meanwhile, the Grammys went in a very different direction, awarding Song of the Year to Bonnie Raitt's Just Like That. The stripped-back folk ballad winning was a surprise to many, as the song had little commercial success. Her victory was widely seen as an underground triumph against younger and more commercially successful nominees like Taylor Swift and Beyonce. This year epitomized the Grammys' tendency to surprise and sometimes confuse. Heat Waves was a huge streaming hit, while Just Like That never even registered, now sitting on only 7 million streams on Spotify. 2023. In 2023, Billboard's biggest song belonged to country star Morgan Wallen with his hit Last Night. The song dominated the Billboard Hot 100 for 16 weeks, marking one of the longest reigns in chart history. His crossover success expanded Morgan's audience beyond country, turning him into one of the most streamed artists in the US. Last Night became a rare country hit to sit comfortably among mainstream pop hits. The Grammy voters, however, selected Billie Eilish's What Was I Made For from the Barbie soundtrack as Song of the Year. Haunting, delicate, and deeply emotional, the song showcased Billie's ability to translate melancholy into global impact. It was also connected to one of the most culturally relevant trends of that year, Barbenheimer, which also helped this chart success. Last Night was the chart topper that defined 2023 in numbers, but Billie's win highlighted the Academy's preference for understated, well-written songs. 2024. Teddy Swims unexpectedly topped the Billboard year-end chart with Lose Control, a powerhouse soul pop ballad that slowly built momentum through word of mouth. It became a fan favorite, climbing the charts steadily to become the year's biggest track. It is still in the top 10 of the Billboard Hot 100, spending more than 100 weeks on the chart. The Grammy Song of the Year, though, went to Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us, the diss track that became a West Coast anthem. It was his victory lap after he destroyed Drake in their rap battle. The song became one of the most talked about records of that year, cementing Kendrick's place as one of hip-hop's greatest writers. His victory at the Grammys was foreshadowed by Drake.
Kendrick just opened his mouth. Someone go hand him a Grammy right now.
What do you think will be the Grammy winning and biggest song of 2025? Tell me in the comments below.